Hey, Karen, if you're there, pick up. I just saw that brochure on the kitchen table. That one about the Hawaii trip. What's with that?
Excuse me?
Don't play dumb, Karen. It was on the kitchen table this morning. Why did you even pick that up? Did you stop by the travel agency just to get that?
So that means you went into our house without permission. I told you to give me advance notice if you're coming over. How many times do I have to keep telling you? Even if you're my mother-in-law, it doesn't give you the right to just walk in.
Oh, please don't start. Besides, I want to know about this brochure for this Hawaii trip. I want an answer right this minute. What is this?
It's nothing, it's just a brochure. I was shopping downtown and happened to pass by a travel agency and picked up one of their brochures out front. Actually, I didn't even realize it was Hawaii until later. The brochure looked nice is all.
Are you planning on going to Hawaii on vacation? Is that it? We have no plans for any kind of vacation. Then why did you go out of your way to get this brochure? And you leave it on the kitchen table for all to see? You knew I would see it. Are you poking fun at me or something?
Pardon me? I just left it on the table when I came home. You're the one who came into the house without permission. Besides, what's it to you if I grab a brochure or not? Just leave me alone, would you please? Don't freak out just because I picked up a brochure.
It's your fault, Karen. You should have thought about that before bringing such a thing home.
Like I said, Mother, please don't come into our house without permission. Then you would have never seen the brochure. Sheesh.
Don't you dare talk back to me. I'm going to confiscate this brochure if you don't mind. From now on, I will not allow you to bring home such brochures or magazines.
Keep the brochure. I don't care what you do with it.
Hey, Karen. Where'd that brochure for Hawaii go? I saw it on the kitchen table this morning. I was going to look through it later.
Oh, hey, Bob. You're pretty early today. Yeah, the brochure. Your mom confiscated it.
Excuse me? She confiscated it?
Yeah, it seems she got into the house without permission again.
What? Are you serious? I thought I took the extra key from her way back.
I bet you anything that she somehow got hold of Dad's extra key.
Yeah, that's probably it. I better warn Dad about that later on.
Yeah, please do.
I can't believe my mom. Man, I'm glad you left all our important papers at your parents' place and not here. I don't even want to imagine what she would do with them. Dad and I were always worrying what Mom would do next, but I never imagined she would come into our house without permission after warning her countless times.
Bet she feels that if it's her son's house, it's hers as well.
Yeah, I could just see her saying exactly that. I was hoping we wouldn't have to go ahead with our plans, but maybe I should talk to Dad and get things moving.
Oh yeah? Well, if you do, let me know ASAP, because I have to give my company some advance notice.
Oh yeah, for sure. Are you on your way home?
Yeah, should be home like 30 minutes or so.
Alright. I'll cook up some supper. I was a bit late today too, so nothing special. I heat up some pasta, a little wine perhaps.
Sounds good. Can't wait to see you soon.
Hey, Karen, I got the okay from Dad.
Oh, yeah, roger that.
I need a favor from you, Karen.
Okay, what is it?
Remember the issue about the brochure? You know, when Mom was all worked up over that thing? I think it was a month or so ago.
Yeah, how can I forget? She freaked out over that thing. I told her I just picked it up and we had no plans for a vacation, but she went ballistic and confiscated the darn thing. I couldn't understand why she would go so far.
About that Hawaii trip. Would you mind making plane reservations for that vacation?
Pardon me? Are you saying we're really going to Hawaii?
Yeah, that's right. I figured it would be useful to mislead her. You know, as a part of our little scheme.
What do you mean by misled? Oh, wait, I get it. Because it's Hawaii, huh? You got it. You know it's in Hawaii.
We'll get her to go there herself.
Roger that. Make sure to text me when things really start moving. Got it?
You got it!
I knew it! You guys are planning to go on that Hawaii trip. I just knew. You can't fool me. This will not do. I won't be left behind. How could you go on vacation without me? No way that's happening.
Mother, how could you? My plane ticket? I was just about to go into the terminal when you grabbed the ticket out of my hand and boarded the plane. How could you?
Looks like they were already closing the doors. We're about to take off. Hawaii, here I come. I arrived at the terminal right when you were standing up to board the plane. Lucky me, you were the last aboard. I can't wait to get to Hawaii. I'll have fun on your behalf. See ya.
But...
Oh, wow. Business class. You really know how to splurge. It's a 6-hour flight, so it's going to be comfortable with these wide seats. And the service is going to be wonderful. Hope they serve beef. Maybe I'll have some red wine with that. LOL.
Ugh, I was going to change my ticket to economy after talking with Bob. He thought it was a little overpriced. I was on my way to talk to the girl at the counter when you showed up out of nowhere. I was going to switch to the evening flight.
Huh? Wait, what?
It's your mom. She snatched my plane ticket from me just as I was going to the counter to get a refund. She then ran right through the boarding gate and onto the plane. I didn't have time to downgrade the ticket and get a refund.
Seriously? Alright then. Just cancel and get a refund for that and my tickets then.
Way ahead of you. Did it as soon as I realized what was happening.
Good thinking. She'll get there and realize that she's all alone and we'll end up spending a fortune. Won't have any money left to get back. But then again, that's the plan. It'll give us time to check out our new place up north in Maine. I always wanted to live there.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I arrived at Honolulu, but nobody is here. Figured I would check in at the hotel and maybe relax at the beach tomorrow.
Oh, so you're okay being alone then?
Well, Hawaii is like any other state. Everyone speaks English, no problem.
Yeah, I suppose so.
By the way, you made reservations at the Sheraton at Waikiki, right? Reservations are in your name, right?
How do you know that?
I know that Bob and his father are checking in later today, too. I heard you guys talking about it and saw the reservation after reading your email.
That means you went into our house without permission and scrounged through our stuff again. You even looked through my email.
Well, that's because you guys were sneaking around behind my back. That's why I knew you'd be at the airport this morning. I caught you right at the opportune time, snatched that ticket, and hopped on the plane.
Yeah, I was just going to the counter to talk to the attendant.
Yeah, sorry, I had to do it. I had to teach you a lesson. Anyway, you're just a housewife. You don't deserve a nice trip like this. I suggest you stay home and look after the house.
Look after the house. Huh, yeah, whatever. But I have to say, I was a little doubtful that you would actually snatch the ticket from me, but it worked.
Excuse me? What are you talking about?
Your husband has been married to you for like 20 years, and he was sure it would work, 'cause he can read you like a book. I told him it would never work, but I guess I was wrong.
What the hell are you talking about, Karen?
Have fun in Hawaii!
Karen, what are you talking about?
We're headed up to Maine in a few days. We rented a cottage on the lake. Beautiful spot.
When I got to the hotel and went for dinner, my brother was there sitting at the table. What's going on?
Hey Mom, you there?
Brad, where have you been? I thought you were coming here with your father, but I find my brother here? You know we don't get along. Did you know about this? I haven't seen my brother in years. He says he lives here, runs some gift shop over on the other side of the island.
Yeah, of course I knew about it. That's why we tricked you into going there.
Excuse me? You tricked me into coming here?
Mom, what is it that you get out of mistreating Karen all the time? Do you enjoy it?
Huh? What do you mean?
You did the same thing to your son Jim about 4 years ago. Remember when Jim planned that honeymoon with his new bride? You swiped her ticket and insisted that you would go with your son. I remember you saying that such a trick was too good for her, that you would go on her behalf. I mean, come on, Mom. Seriously? Wasn't that the reason Jim wanted nothing to do with you? Isn't that why he moved away? Bet you don't even know where he lives now.
But I was only trying to...
Anyway, Dad knew how you would react and set up this little scheme, and it worked like a charm.
Wait, excuse me. This was all a scheme of some kind?
Yeah, it was a hassle, but it worked out. From this day forward, we, Dad included, have cut family ties with you.
But why? Why, Brad?
Because you treat Karen, my wife, with total disdain, as if she were a maid.
But I was trying to teach her to be a good wife is all.
Yeah, by throwing out her cooking, or purposely messing up the room and demanding that she clean it up. There were countless incidents I could point to, but it would take all day, and I don't have time for that. Did you really think that Dad and I didn't notice? Jim left because of how you treated his wife. Didn't you learn your lesson? We were worried that would escalate so far that maybe someone would get hurt. That's how concerned we were. Well, we contacted your brother, Uncle Bruce, and we explained the whole thing to him. He agreed to take you in. So, that's how you ended up there.
No, please, I can't stay here. Not with Bruce. You know I don't get along with him. I never wanted to see him again. I didn't even know where he lived. I hadn't seen him in years.
That's why we asked him to take care of you from now on, and he agreed.
No, that can't be right.
Bruce is a real disciplinarian. He's one tough cookie. Runs his own business, has numerous employees. This will be good for you, Mom. You need a little discipline in your life. A little taste of your own medicine. He's actually quite excited about finally teaching his little sister proper manners.
No, this can't be.
We also took this opportunity to move out. This will probably be the last time we talk. Goodbye, Mother. It was nice knowing you.
Brad, you can't do this. You're my son.
I heard later she was taken to her brother's place on the other side of the island and set up in a small dormitory. The next day, my Uncle Bruce got her started as a store clerk greeting tourists. But as you can imagine, she wasn't actually good at her job. I heard she tried escaping several times, possibly trying to catch a plane back to the mainland, but without any real money, she wasn't able to get very far. Uncle Bruce picked her up, wandering down Waikiki Boulevard. I think she's finally come to the realization that she'll just have to make the best of it. Actually, living in Hawaii doesn't sound that bad.
Letitia, it's been a long time. I have something I'd like to ask you, so I'm wondering if now's an okay time?
Oh, well, if it isn't my little sister Blanca. The one that had her boyfriend stolen by me back in college and then ran back home to her parents crying and then ran off to never come back to us for 7 years. I remember you.
I understand that I've not come home for a very long time now, but I've still kept in touch with Mom and Dad. And the only reason I moved out of the house back then is because I was already planning on living on my own. And what you did to me was just going on at the same time. And as for that man you said you stole from me, he wasn't my boyfriend anymore, and we had already cut ties to one another before you started to date him.
Huh?
I told you time and time again to never go out with that man because he was bad news. But you never listened to me and kept saying that I was trying to keep him to myself and that you were so glad you were able to get him from me.
Huh?
Stop trying to act like you never heard any of that from me. I was never planning on going back out with that man, and the reason for that was pretty clear to me, and I'm sure clear to you now as well.
What are you talking about?
Don't you remember how you were only ever able to go out with him on Fridays? Well, that's because you were only his Friday girl.
What the heck is a Friday girl?
You don't know? There's 5 days during the week, before the weekend, Monday through Friday. And he happened to have a girl for every day of the week that he'd go out with. And he'd do that every week, going back to his Monday girl when the week started again.
What?
Sorry, we got a little off topic there. Now, Letitia. Right now, you're with my husband, Aaron, right?
Huh?
Coming over to my place to make out with him in my bed is absolutely gross, so I'd like for the two of you to stop that right now.
So you found out, huh?
Well, you got that one right.
Well, I guess that sucks, but at least now I don't really need to explain much. But unlike last time, this time I'm actually going to be stealing your man from you, and I'm not going to let him get away from me after. However, what makes this time even more different is that Aaron is married to you.
Well, you're right about that as well.
And one other thing. Just one other thing. I have something to tell you regarding me being with your husband now, and it's the perfect time for this.
What?
I'm pregnant with Aaron's baby.
Huh?
I think the day that he and I first got together was the day he got me pregnant, since we didn't have any protection then. But I'm sure that's a shock to you, since for the longest time now you've been trying for a baby, yet never got pregnant. So I'm sorry that I'll be the one carrying his kid now. I'm saying that I'm sorry that on our first try, we were able to make a baby together and didn't even have to try. And it seems that Aaron has been wanting a baby for so long now, right? Well, I don't think he'll ever be happy with a defect like you, so I'll be getting married to him now.
So this is how you learned about us having trouble making a baby? I see. Well, he and I have been talking to one another for a little while now about getting a divorce and all that comes with it.
Really?
Every single day, he'd blame me for being the reason I could never get pregnant, and it has started to really wear me down a bit. And recently, I just don't feel like being his wife anymore.
What the heck is up with that?
Well, this is all great news for you two. Congrats on getting pregnant with him.
Huh? Are you kidding me right now? You have no right being happy about us right now. I'm the one that's won, and you should not be happy about any of that.
And if that's what you want to think, then go right ahead and keep thinking that you've won. But be aware that I will be getting a settlement from the two of you, so don't dilly-dally on that.
Sure, whatever. It seems to me that Aaron is going to be paying for me as well, so you can ask for however much money you'd like from us. I mean, the guy's making around $1 million a year, so he's got the money to pay you off.
I see. So that's why you ended up wanting to steal him from me then.
Blanca, I'm sure you've already heard about us from your older sister, but everything she said was right. I've become a dad now, and I need to be responsible for the baby. And not just that, but I've also fallen in love with Letitia now. So there's nothing more you can do to get me to stay with you.
Hold on a second. I understand that we've been married for 3 years now, and you and I have been unsuccessful at having a baby together. But remember that just a little while before, you and I went in and took a fertility test at the clinic nearby? Right now, we're waiting on the results of that test, right? So what are we going to do about that?
Well, about that. As you can see, me getting your sister pregnant pretty much means that I'm not the one with the problem, so I guess it means you're the unlucky one in all of this, so sorry.
Are you really sure that you getting her pregnant is the right thing to base the answer off of?
I have a very good reason to doubt me being the one that's infertile. So I think I'll stick with the answer being that you're the one with the issues.
Is that so? All right then. But when I get the results from those tests, you don't need to hear about them from me, right? I'm okay to keep that all to myself?
Well, I already know that I'm not the one with the problems, so I don't care to listen to you tell me that you are infertile. And besides, I'm going to be the one paying you for a settlement anyway for being with your sister now, so you can go ahead and just stop talking to me from now on. I've already been given the okay from your parents, so I don't need to hear from you later that you want me back.
I'm sure that my parents aren't okay with what's going on here. Rather, they don't want your kid growing up in a messed up family without a father, so they're letting you stay with her for the baby's sake.
Well, what difference does that make? All that really matters to me now is if that baby is going to be a boy or a girl, and I can't wait to find out.
I see. Well, I'm going to ask for a lawyer to help with the divorce papers and the settlement, so you can wait to hear things from them and handle things.
Sounds good. I'll be waiting.
Blanca! Thank you so much for getting divorced from Aaron. So now, starting today, he is officially my man and nobody can touch him. I'm sure you've already gotten the money from him, right? Well, if you have, that means we can stop talking about all of this now.
I feel as though there might still be things to talk about later, but who cares, right? By the way, I'm pretty surprised to have learned this, but when you were with Aaron, you had a fiance yourself, right?
I'm sure I did have one, but he was only making around $80,000 a year. That obviously wasn't enough to afford me for the long haul, and seeing a man before my eyes who's making $1 million a year, well, I couldn't just sit around and let him get away. So that's why I jumped on him.
I can't believe what I'm hearing, but I want to know if Aaron had to pay that guy off as well for you.
Well, of course he has. But Aaron has the money to pay him, so I don't mind. And to be honest, if Aaron wasn't going to offer to pay for me during times like these, I'd leave him in a heartbeat.
You seriously only care about people's money, huh?
Don't feel so jealous about me getting to have him now, okay? It's only fair considering I'm the one with the better butt, and I have to say that my waist has slimmed down quite a bit. If it wasn't for those two things, I'm sure your little pencil body could have kept him on your leash. By the way, we're planning to hand in our marriage papers this week. And thank you again for divorcing him before my belly started to get really large with his baby.
Oh, wow, really? That's so great.
Blanca, I'm finally at my final month of the pregnancy.
Is that so? Well, I'm pretty busy now, so I'll talk to you another time.
Wait! I can see that you may want to act all okay about what's happening here, but I can tell you're hurting from all this news.
No, I'm over being upset about what's happened, Letitia.
You're really going to keep trying to act all tough in front of me?
I have to leave my house soon.
Slow down for just a little bit longer. I have just a bit more that I'd like to talk about. I get that you might want to get out and get back to whatever work or hobby you're up to, but you're still a single woman with no man to look forward to, so all that work and time you have to get to is for nothing.
I'm serious about not having the time right now. I'm going to be late for the plans I have to pick someone up.
Oh? You have to get there to see them that badly? Who is it?
My boyfriend.
Huh?
Bye-bye.
You already have another man by your side? What the heck, Blanca? What the hell is this piece of mail? What are these test results?
Oh, so those finally showed up at your place then. Well, when I was unpacking all my things after moving into my new place, I happened to find that at the bottom of one of my boxes. It must have gotten in there by accident, so I'm sorry for keeping you both waiting on the news. But that's why you're only getting those results from me now.
I don't give a crap about how these got here and why. I want to know what all of this means for Aaron. What does it mean he suffers from male infertility? He told me that you're the one that suffers with that crap, not him.
And right before the two of us got divorced, we took some tests to see who was in trouble. But I got results back saying there was nothing wrong with me.
Huh? Hold on a second. That means that I'm in trouble now.
I'm the one that's got issues? Blanca, why did you never tell me all of this sooner when you got the results in?
Well, even if I wanted to tell you, we had already gotten divorced by the time I got your results, and so I didn't really care to tell you.
But back then, there was still a bunch of time before Letitia was going to have her dang baby, right?
Well, I'm sorry, but I didn't know that my sister was carrying a baby that wasn't your own at the time.
Huh?
You were the one saying that the baby was yours for sure, and telling you both that the baby wasn't yours would have caused her a lot of stress. And it's not good for the baby to stress their mother when they're still inside. Now stop talking to me, Aaron.
He's asking to get a divorce from me. We had to make sure that we weren't just tripping about him not being able to have a baby, and so we took the baby's DNA, and it of course showed that it's not his. When we learned that he couldn't give me a baby, I wanted to start thinking of ways to help fix him and all of that, but why the hell did you not tell the both of us this a whole lot sooner?
Well, when you were talking about stealing him from me, the results hadn't come out yet for the tests we took.
Seriously?
Whether you were planning on taking my husband at the time away from me or not, or whether we had been divorced yet or not, I didn't know a thing about him being 100% infertile. But I'll tell you that when we were talking before the divorce, I asked him if he wanted me to tell him the results or not of the tests when I got them, and he said he didn't care. So stop trying to act as though I was trying to set you both up or anything like that, because I tried to help you both.
For crying out loud. It seems that my ex-boyfriend has found out about all of this now, and he keeps blowing up my phone about wanting me to test and see if he's the father.
Is that right?
No matter what I try and do now, this is all screwed the frick up.
Blanca, how about the two of us get remarried? After hearing that you were able to have a baby now, I guess I can't complain anymore about you, so I think it'd be fine being back together with you and all that. And I get that I can't give you a baby, but hey, at least now we don't have to worry about protection in bed, right? Well, I'm totally alright with us getting things cooking again. And I'm sure you are too. I'm going to start filling out our marriage forms and we'll be over at your place really soon. I can't wait for you to be my wife again. I can't believe it, Blanca. I heard from a friend of mine. You've gotten married to another man now. Please tell me you're at your new place now waiting for me to show up, okay? You still love me and want me to be your husband again, right? Blanca. Blanca. What is going on here? I just went to the apartment that you and I have been living in together. And when I went and knocked on the door for you to let me in, a couple that I've never seen before opened the dang door up. I asked the landlord what happened to you. She said the day after you and I got divorced, you moved out of the apartment with all of your things. When you do something as important as that, you have to tell me those things, okay? I even heard from your sister that you never go back to your parents' house. So where the hell have you run off to?
I had totally forgotten that I turned all of the notifications from Aaron off, and so the whole time he was texting me, I never saw a thing. But it's been a week now since his last text, and I have to say I think he's given up on trying to get me to come back. Now to start things off with what happened afterwards, the baby that my sister ended up having turned out to be the baby of a man she used to be engaged to before going to Aaron. Letitia tried to go back to him, asking for the two of them to get back together, but that didn't work. And somewhere along the way, her ex ended up getting custody of the baby and taking it away from her. So for the kid's sake, that's a huge win right there. Anyway, after what happened to her, she went back to her old ways of stealing men from other women, and one day wound up with a man who's in serious debt. As of right now, no one is really sure what happened to her and that man, but they're off the grid now. As for my ex, Aaron, being divorced for a second time due to the fact that the baby was never his and that he couldn't handle the pain of being infertile, he became super depressed and stopped going out and to work. He was later fired from that job and is now having to deal with all sorts of costly things like not being able to pay for his house and having to pay a settlement to Letitia after getting that divorce. So all I can really say about him now is that he's struggling to swim out of the deep end of life.